Okay, hello everyone. I'm gonna do a quick secondary watch list video here on Sunday evening. I'm not seeing much, not surprising with the selling that we've seen last week. I am not planning on doing any trading on Monday. We're gonna let things just settle down a little bit here to see how we shape up early next week. And I've already entered into the mode of protecting what I've been able to make the last few weeks. I've been very aggressive on margin as I've been posting on X, and I got off of margin on Friday. Woke up to a bunch of stops being triggered. I overslept with my chemo treatment. So yeah, so I'll walk through it with you guys. I don't think I'll have a primary list. There's only about 12 names on the list anyway, but just wanted to get this out since I've done the homework and my routine anyway over the weekend. So let me just jump through them pretty quickly, and then we'll get this out as soon as I can. Gilead, first one, I'm already actually in this one. I have entered Gilead here. It's really clean, nice setup. I posted about it, I believe, on X as kind of as around where I was taking it or something like that. It was just trying to move. It's setting up an add-on right here. This is kind of a really nice add-on with tight stop below here. Earning coming up, so we'll make it challenging, and the environment right now is not conducive to be taking on more risks. So I'll probably just let this go and go from there. Other ones I'm watching, I don't necessarily think they're actionable tomorrow, but like I said, I'm not doing anything with them anyway. But they're ones that caught my attention to watch and see how we shape up here in the next few days. So Jabil, GBL, testing this support level here multiple times. I like that. It is really just simply consolidating. So if I go to the weekly, let me move this out of here. Sometimes the setup doesn't make sense on the daily because it's extended. This is the base, right? So extended from the base. You guys hear me say I don't buy them extended from the base, but there are some exceptions to that. Ants, these dots that you see at the chart, these are ants, essentially saying lots of buy-in with lots of volume. You can Google David Ryan ants and then figure out what this means. But it's essentially accumulation by institutions on this stock, and it's holding really tight. So if we go to the weekly, it's holding really tight. You get week 1, 2, 3, and 4. So not really a flat base, but it's getting there. So week 5 will make it a flat base. So that's why this is on my radar. I get a little bit more aggressive when I see ants. And then when I also see 20% or more from the base pivot in 4 weeks or less. So I become very aggressive with these and try to get on board because this seems to be a strong stock. What I would like to do is maybe just stay in this area and give us a pivot here, okay? And then so maybe later in the week that would be playable. AS, similar story with the GBL. You guys can see we've got the 29% from the pivot, from your double bottom pivot in 4 weeks or less. So I would like to be aggressive on those. Test and support again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, multiple test support here and again here. And if you look at the weekly, so if we give us something and then build a pivot here, some type of pivot, that would be playable. If you look at the weekly, this is now a flat base after breaking from a double bottom. And here's your support. And then here's your flat base, right? So this is the best of the best, I guess, right now that I was able to find. Sezzle, same exact logic. Really strong. You got your ants. And then it's now kind of holding this area. Let me see what level that is. That is the 135 level, 136 level. It needs to build a little bit more. This is on the weekly, nothing but testing the 10-week MA after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 weeks up in a row. I think it needs a little bit more time, and the market is not ready for it to rip higher, I don't think. But you're going to watch the 150 level and see really how this build over here, right? Or maybe, I don't know, it'll go pull back, and then you can do a pullback buy on it. So they're really not ready, but this is what I've been able to find. COGT, this one is interesting. You can, I mean, it's from here all the way up here is a little bit over 100%, well 100%. So this could be looked at as high tide flag. I got the ants and then pulling back on lower volume to the 21 EMA. I mean, this could be playable as soon as Monday, but I'm not going to be touching anything, to be honest with you guys. I'm just going to see how these work, because if these kept going doing this, then the market is really not improving. But if we start seeing some of these setups that I'm talking about firming up, that would be a good indication that maybe we are going to be turning, and then you can start targeting some other stuff as well. So for me, these are just to watch. Joby, I think there's just a lot of eyes on it on X and the trading community. High tide flag, ants. If you guys notice that I'm kind of focusing on these ants. This was viable here. I posted about it, but I'm not doing anything with it. It's very short still, only 2 weeks, so about 10 days. But if this builds out, somewhere here, or maybe even shakes out a little bit, comes down here, and then builds out even later in the week, it would be fine. GLXy, I think this is called GLXy Digital. Just pulling back at an IPO base. What I would love for this to do is just kind of build some consolidation here, or a pivot, or maybe even breaks out, pulls back, comes back, and then you do a pullback buy on this. So we'll see how that kind of holds up. QBTS, I think this is one of the quantum computing stocks. If you go to the weekly, again, daily doesn't look as, this is the weekly, it's consolidation after breaking out from this area. Looks fine to me, but it needs some time. I think if we can reclaim this area here, the 17 area, and then maybe do some type of consolidation in this area early next week, maybe we're back on our way. The selling is lower. Not seeing any distribution here. It's actually volume drying out. So it looks okay, but it needs more time. Walmart may be ready. If you want slower setup, this is potentially ready. It's been RS going up while the market is going down. Clean pivot. You can take this coming out if you want, if you absolutely have to be trading. And this is slower mover, but caught my attention. Mirm in the biotech, I posted about that. Tried to come out here a little bit, poke its head, and came back in. You can take it if you want to. Grab my attention is the sales that's going on with this company. Still doesn't make money. I think they won't be making money until like 2027. But constant sale, constant improvement in their EPS, but they're still losing money, obviously. But holding really, really, really well. So maybe, this even tighten up a little bit more before it comes out. Okay. B caught my attention in the gold space and silver. Clean pivot here. Gold strengthened on Friday. Maybe you can play this, but honestly, there's quite a bit of these gold stocks that are setting up. I don't know if it'll be a better idea to play the GDX, the gold miners, versus trying to get on one of the gold stocks. So gold miners are putting kind of similar pattern. It's pulling back. failed breakout. Second mouse gets the cheese right here, and you got relatively clean pivot, and then your stop is below here. So you can manage risk that way. So you've got Walmart, you've got GDX, if you want to take something that's ready on Monday, Gilead, but earning coming close. And then the other ones are really just to watch. That's it. That's the list. So let me actually do, since we have time here, we finished pretty quickly. Let me go through BE trade that I did. I got some questions on it as to, because in one of my videos previously, I said I want to hold it, and I explained that. I think it was, let me see here. Let me go back a few days. So I think when I reviewed it, it was doing this. And I said, I would like to hold this for the longer run and see if we can get a pullback, and then buy it. But I ended up selling it and then coming back in. And I think there was a question on X as to why did I sell it versus, follow my plan. Well, the plan changes every time we get a new day. So what I say today is really going to depend on what's going to happen with the candle of the next day or the bottom of the next day. So what happened the next day? This. And I wasn't expecting this. This is a big gap down in the stock, right? I was expecting more orderly pullback. This wasn't orderly, and it was on very high volume. So that changed my thinking around, do I really want to hold this? This looks a lot weaker than I thought it should look. So that's why I exited. And I didn't exit right away. I left it. And then here's day 2. And then here's day 3 after the gap. And that was okay. That was turning back up. I still have my position. And now I'm expecting it for that to be it. But then we got this day. And then that's the day I sold it, because that reversed this candle here. And I sold right before the close. Okay, so I closed my position, which the one I bought here and the one I added to here. I sold some here, and then I closed all of it here at the close before the end of that day. Now, I was still watching it, and now it's pulling back to the 20 EMA. Okay, and then the next day, we get rally at temp, not a bad pivot on this one here. And I wanted to get in, but then I think the stock gapped up. Nope. So this is getting even better. And I wanted to get in above the high, because now we've had successful test, undercut a little bit here, not a lot of seller, successful test, closed the gap. Now I want to buy it above this high with a stop below. But it gapped up that day. So I missed it. But I've talked about how do I use a tactic if I want to get into a stock. I would leave my limit order at the pivot for the next day, or sometimes 2 days, to see if the stock will dip back quickly and find buyers. And that's exactly what happened. So dipped back, I got filled at my previous pivot 1 day later. That's acceptable, because I came in here, I'm going to be still in. So now I am in. So I did come in here with a 5% position. And then I liked this bar. And then I bought, again, another 5% position above the high of this high. Okay, so right here. And then we get the gap up. Okay, and that's the gap up. That's on the Oracle News, partnering with Oracle to power some of their data centers or something like that. I still have the entire position, so it's 10% position. I have not sold it. I was clear on tax. I'm going to be holding through earnings, and that's what I did. So I'm hoping this will just kind of round up here and give me another chance to bring it up to 15 or 20% position. I think I posted the other one I want to review here before we close this up is Snow. Snow was one of my biggest positions heading into Friday, and I posted about it on Twitter. So the logic, yes, this is away from the base. But the logic is this is testing the 10-week MA for the first time. Test, right? After breaking its base. lots of growth, both earning and sales. So I want to position into this heavily if I can. And that's what I try to do. And it gave really some nice, this bar is, I'm surprised, but let me go away from that bar for now and then show you what I was looking at. So here's all of my, I'm gonna go one more day. My first entry is right here. My second entry is right here. And then I post, so that was, I think that, yeah, that was a 10% position. And then I added another 5 here, and I added another 5 here. And I posted about that one when I said little mini kind of pullback here, set in above this support. So I bought 10 here percent, 10% position, 5% position, and then out of here, and then another 5 here to bring it to 20. And then we got the Microsoft news, and the stock did this, which was great. But then you come in Friday, and this what happened. And this was the open, I believe, and then the stock just from there. I have my stop around this level here because I had some here, some here, some here. So I kind of put it just below the 21 EMA. I think I was out right at the open. So I wanted just to review those 2 trades that I did, and how you can really quickly scale to a big position with low risk, right? Because this is 10% and this is 5. My risk is down here. So I'm still kind of playing it really tight, close to the 10-week MA line. Okay, this is now pretty nasty. It's going to need some time here to recover. Volume not horrible, but obviously it's a wide range bar with a higher than average volume. So this is going to need some time now to recover. This is quite a bit of damage. So I'm out, and I probably won't be looking at this until it develops a little bit better. So I'll leave it at that. Hopefully that helps. It's quick, but there's not much really to do for Monday. So good luck if you're trading. I'll be cheering for you.